Champions League football. Let's look at the group standings now. PSG out front in Group A, 7 points. City in 6, on 6. Brugge in the Europa League spot, and Leipzig pointless after 3 games. Group B, Liverpool setting the pace, perfect from their 3 games. Atletico and Porto, 2nd and 3rd respectively. Milan yet to get on the board. Group C, Ajax with a big win today. They have maximum points. Dortmund stumbled badly, but they are in 6th position, 6 points clear of Sporting Club de Portugal in 3rd. Besiktas pointless. And Group D, Sheriff, Real Madrid joined top of the table, but the Moldovan team lead on goal difference. Inter in 3rd, and Shakhtar with a point to their name. All right, let's go to the Wanda Metropolitano Stadium in Madrid for this one between Atletico and Liverpool.
Daniel Seaburn gets us underway. It's Liverpool kicking from left to right as they visit Madrid for the 3rd season in a row. And having been beaten in this stadium, their last defeat actually was in Madrid against Real back in April. They played 20 matches since then, winning 14 of them, hoping for better fortunes this evening.
Yeah.
Tidied up at the back by Hermoso initially, but Liverpool still come forward again. It'll be a chase for Salah. He'll get there ahead of Hermoso. Here's Mo Salah once more, just looking for the chance to get a shot in. Finally saw it and it's in! Liverpool ahead in the 8th minute of the game. Mo Salah's shot took a little deflection on the way through.
Of course, but they haven't got going yet, the home team.
You're quite right there, as Alexander-Arnold sent it in. He doesn't quite reach Mane, and it's blasted into the back of the net by Naby Keita. What a start for Liverpool! 2 goals in 12.5 minutes. First real bit of quality we've seen from the home side as well there. That pass from Griezmann. Here comes Lemar, always away from Naby Keita. Passed in towards the back of the net, and it's gone all the way through. And they are back in the match. So Yannick Carrasco on the near side. Felix in possession now, holding off Keita, who's snapping at his heels, but to no ultimate effect. That's a tremendous ball, beautifully taken by Griezmann. That's a goal of real quality from Antoine Griezmann, the Frenchman. 2-0 down. Diego Simeone's side are level, and we're only just over half an hour into this one. Felix going for the header, beaten in the air by Van Dijk. Unfortunate coming together there just outside the penalty area. It's Firmino.
Yeah, there's a high boot there.
Painful ear. Oh, it's a straight red card.
Well, it was high, but I don't know if it was that high. I think the player was ducking a touch.
Alexander-Arnold, high and hopeful. Oh, and that was an unfortunate tackle there. It's going to be a penalty. Big moment. And he wasn't about to waste it. 3-2 Liverpool. Mo Salah strikes again.
Well, what a match it's been. What a match.
Tremendous game. Liverpool prevail by the odd goal in 5. A penalty 12 minutes from the end of the 90. Planted home by Mo Salah.
Wow, so today his 10th game in all competitions for Liverpool since the start of the season. Mo Salah has 11 goals. He is scoring at a rate like he has never scored before since his time in a red shirt. The man is on fire. Simon, the referee, intervened in this game in the second half in a big way with that red card to Griezmann. A deserved red card, but it took something from the game, even though Atletico kept coming, and may feel themselves a tad unlucky to be beaten 3-2 at home.
Indeed, and they also had a penalty awarded towards the end of that game, which was overruled by VAR, and quite a similar sort of offence to the one Liverpool got, which I think is what aggrieved Diego Simeone. More the players coming together, clip of the heels inside the box that referees are giving now. So I think Atletico will feel hard done to. I think Liverpool will feel they were a little bit fortunate despite the brilliance of Salah again. Because they didn't actually play that well. They really didn't. They weren't at their peak tonight, Liverpool, but they've come away from a very, very tough place to go with a 3-2 win.
Yeah, a little bit more about Atletico, because guess what? The functioning, the communication between Joao Felix and Antoine Griezmann was rather good. It's funny because in the early part of last season, the communication and the interplay between Joao Felix and Luis Suarez was also good. But Suarez benched today. He went for Griezmann, I'm sure a bit more mobility and the ability to play with the midfield in a way that Suarez doesn't normally do. And I thought that both players were very, very good. We've heard that Joao Felix doesn't really enjoy playing under Simeone, but the young Portuguese was rather good today for the time he was on the pitch.
I thought it was one of the best performances I've seen from him, really, at Atletico, certainly in the Champions League. You know, he looked bright and inventive. He was linking up very well with Griezmann, as you said. I mean, he cost them a lot of money, didn't he? I think he was about 85, 90 million euros. And you keep waiting and waiting to see what is so special about him. But just look at that touch and that movement, finding Griezmann, instinctively there, which is a really good sign for Atletico. I'd have liked to have seen a bit more of it, though, because this Atletico team, we still maybe deal in the stereotypes of the past with the previous Simeone teams, where they've been noted for their defensive ability and their resilience. They've actually got quite a lot of attacking flair, and I'd like to see them use it a little bit more.
Yeah, but that's the point that Saul Niguez was making, Simon, that look, there are so many players in the team who can play, but Simeone doesn't let them play. Niguez wants to be an attacking midfielder for Atletico, but he's being asked to do the donkey work, the piano carrying in the midfield, and that's not what he's about. So the players feel that they can overwhelm teams and play in this style, but the coach doesn't really believe in that.
Yeah, and you'd like to see them do more with it. I mean, I would have liked to have seen Suarez more involved in the game. I do understand tactically why they went that way, though, because I think against somebody like Van Dijk, it does make sense to use those smaller, light-footed players and play around him rather than someone like Suarez who would go right on and play on his shoulder. I can see the sense of that, but it would have been nice to see them to go for it a bit more, because Liverpool weren't really at it in that first half, even though bizarrely, they were 2-0 up, saying that after they were 2-0 up after 12 minutes, but they weren't really dominating the game in the way that the result would have suggested.
Absolutely so. They may feel they got out of jail with that 3-2 win. Well, what about Real Madrid and Shakhtar? An own goal to open the scoring, and then Vinicius Jr. with a double. Rodrigo on the score sheet. Vinicius Jr. also had an assist, and the old man Karim Benzema just keeps on scoring. They really put it to Shakhtar after the disappointing result against Sheriff on match day 2.
They did, and Vinicius Jr., we're just saying about young players who came with big reputations and whether or not they can start to live up to them. He really is, isn't he, now? And he showed some brilliant touches. Wonderful goal he scored, and also creating an assist. And he looks, just look at him. He's just so full of confidence now and seems to be playing like the star that Real Madrid hoped they'd signed. And that's a really promising sign for them. But they were way too good for Shakhtar tonight. This was the kind of Real Madrid-Shakhtar game that we've expected on previous occasions and haven't got, because the Ukrainians have upset them a few times, haven't they?
Yeah. The fact of the matter is that we just carried well, on our screen, I don't know if you're seeing it, but Lance has a note about Benzema and the Ballon d'Or, and Zidane's comments that Benzema is in line, well, he deserves to win that award. In the autumn of his career, the reliable Frenchman, do you think he can rise to the level where, he gets that recognition for his play for for Los Blancos?
I hope he does, actually, to be honest. We've talked about it before, haven't we, George, on this programme, and how underrated he was during his time with Cristiano Ronaldo. And I think he's proven that since Ronaldo's left, because in fact, he was talking about this in an interview last week, where he said, look, when Ronaldo was there, my job, for a guy who's scoring 60 goals a season, my job was to feed him and provide him. That was my job. And then when he left, my job was to take over and be the main goal-scoring threat. And he's done that. And I think, although Real Madrid haven't had a great year, I'd love to see him get that recognition. And he's doing it for France as well now, won the Nations League with them, played a big part in that. So it'd be nice to see him get it in a year when there isn't really a strong, obvious, outstanding candidate for it.
Yeah, we only have a minute left. I have to ask you about this. In watching the previews for this round for this match day, everybody felt that Ajax Borussia Dortmund would have been a goal fest. Erling Haaland back from injury on the weekend, expected to light this up. Didn't go according to script. It was a goal fest, but Ajax was having all the fun.
They were. Dortmund were terrible. They were really, really bad. We have to say that. But there were some super performances in Ajax. Anthony, again, the winger with the bleached blonde hair, excellent player. And Sebastian Haller, again, scoring goals. So Ajax looked like they could be a side who could get